Hello and welcome to Brew Tapcast. I am Tap here for another episode of Pints and Previews. We are into day 7 of the Monarch spoilers. We are coming up around on the end of the first week, and I imagine that we'll be hitting light stuff coming this next week, and then the following week we'll be hitting generic stuff, and then we'll be on to the pre-release, and spoilers will be over, and we'll be able to get after those cards. Hopefully, if you can actually play in a spoiler release safely. Or pre-release safely. All right, so for today, we will be going through the cards that we saw from Sunday, the 18th of April. We have 7 of them, and a lot of good stuff spoiled. Before we do, I will say that once we've gone through a couple of these, we'll make some predictions about the light stuff based on what we know now of the tokens and things like that. So, with all that said, grab yourself a pint. Let's go through some previews. All right, let's jump on over to this page. All right, we can see here we are getting our spoilers off of the main page. Here's all those delicious links. Got a couple fellow creators, Kitchen Table, TCG, DM Armada. I believe Houses Mysteria is also a smaller creator there. So we'll be kicking off with all these spoilers for today, and then hopefully onto some stuff for tomorrow. Later today, who knows? Well, maybe I'll put 2 videos out today, but probably not because New Zealand time's really late for me if that was the case. All right, with all that out there, let's just jump into our first one. It is from the Fab TCG Facebook fan page, and we have Frontline Scout. So let me bring that up on my card reader because that's silly that I don't have that ready. Alrighty, here is Frontline Scout. So we have a 0 cost 3, probably 2 and 1 power attack depending upon the color of pitch. This is the red one. Blocks for 2. You may look at the defending player's hand. So it's the first time we've seen some major sort of peeking into the opponent's hand, and it says if it's played from Arsenal, it gains go again. So I actually think that in Flesh and Blood, again, coming from a Magic player's perspective, I don't actually think that looking at someone's hand is really all that helpful because it's very short-term memory in this game in particular. Like Magic, maybe people turn over their hands really quickly, but in Flesh and Blood, hands turn over very quickly. If you're not utilizing your hand during your turn, or if you're Kano during our turn, you're not doing it right. Something is not going as efficiently as it could be. So I think that the power of looking at someone's hand isn't that powerful after all. What I think it is good for is if you're looking for a big, game-winning alpha strike, that's when this card would be useful. And if that's the case, you want it in your arsenal so you can actually do something afterwards. Otherwise, I don't think that looking at someone's hand is really going to do all that much. Outside of knowing if someone's got a brutal defense reaction, or something that's just really going to shut you down. Or maybe a Kano thing. Maybe Kano, against Kano, this can be good because you can see if they can actually pop off and get you or something like that. But outside of that, I don't really think it's all that useful. So, all right, let's move on to our next one. This is from the Fab Discord. We have our first token. So this is Blasmophet, the Soul Harvester. So this is a Shadow Token Demon Ally. So we have these tokens that Eclipse and Doomsday, this is the Doomsday one, have been referencing, and they are essentially, we had sort of talked about what they were, sort of thought about them being as a weapon or something that sort of plops on top of your hero and takes the place of that hero. They're not. They're sort of like a beast that you summon, a demon ally that you summon that has their own life total. So in the Foundry Hub's podcast from yesterday, I actually talked about that, maybe them being like planeswalkers if you think about it as Magic. And that's kind of what they are. They have their own life total and they do their own things. You cannot defend for them. So this is allies cannot be or can be attacked and can't be defended with defense. They are destroyed when they have taken damage equal to their power, which in their life, this case is 6. At the end of turn, heal all damage. So essentially, it's a one-shot. If you could do 6 damage, you've done it. Great. Once per turn action, 0 attack. Attacks for 6. Whenever it attacks, you may banish a shadow card from your hand. If you do, banish a card from the defending hero's soul. So this is really quite cool. Because you're going to be able to interact with their soul, which we assume is very powerful because a lot of the cards are referencing that. That's White's Blood Debt. So I imagine it's going to be very key to what's going on with all of their things. Now, what's cool about this is it's making up for the problems, the problems that Blood Debt can bring. So Blood Debt kills a lot of your, it's going to suck a lot of your life out of you. But what this can do is if people don't want to lose their soul if you're playing against a defending hero, or they don't want to have something that's just going to be smacking in for 6 damage repeatedly for free, they may just try to kill it. So essentially, it's a one-shot of 6 damage, at least in one turn, and it's gone. So theoretically, you're gaining 6 life, and you have a free attack, essentially. So it can be quite useful. Overall, it really depends on how powerful the soul is of whether or not this is really a great card or not. So we'll have to wait and see. If Soul is super powerful, this is probably going to be pretty dang nice. So this one comes from Doomsday off of Levia. So very cool sort of thing by that. Again, it's really depending upon the power of Soul. So moving on to our next one, Kitchen Table TCG. Louis over there got to spoil the other one, the Shane Master Shadow Token Demon Ally that comes from Eclipse. This is Urser the Soul Reaper. So again, same text at the top. You can attack it. You cannot defend against or for it. Once per turn attack, 0/6. Again, same sort of thing. Well, Urser is attacking a hero with one or more cards in their soul. The attack has go again. So particularly, this is going to be useful against light allies. Light heroes. Otherwise, this is just, again, same old sort of just bashing it for 6. That said, Chain can have a lot of stuff that gives you go again. And if you are playing a light thing, you can really maximize a large turn by going like non-attack action, maybe this attacking in, then Chain to give your next attack action go again. You go boom with another Runeblade attack, another Runeblade attack. So you get sort of like 4 sort of spell things in there. And again, really, this is the one that's definitely not in your hand. You're going to have, and it's free, it costs nothing. So essentially, you have to pay for 3 spells. A lot of those are going to come out of your banish zone. We'll see some more down below that come out of your banish zone. So really, I can definitely see Shane going super wide and super powerful and super fast, because otherwise, you're just going to die to the Blood Debt or banishing your entire deck. So very, very cool there. Again, I think we can't really tell how powerful this is. It will gain you, again, 6 life, maybe, if you are... or if it's going to be targeted. I think this one's a little bit more powerful because you actually can have go again. So you can do more than one thing without having to do anything else in your turn. So art's super cool on both of these cards. They got that sweet Reaper. It's just really cool. Everything's really cool looking here. These demons, like intergalactic, like sort of stuff going on here, compared to the Blastfet, which is just like a bunch of corpses all sort of mushed together. But all right, moving on to DM Armada. He went and spoiled the Carrion Husk. This is a Shadow Equipment legendary chest piece. It is the most powerful piece of armor we have seen with a defense of 6. That's right, 6. But it comes with some downsides. So if you defend with Carrion Husk, banish it when the combat chain closes. 1 shot, 6 block. But that's not all. It's got Blood Debt, so once it gets banished, it's going to be hurting you every turn. But also, at the start of your turn, if you have 13 or less life, banish Carrion Husk. So essentially, the last hit of Blood Debt or whatever is going to be the thing that's really going to matter when it comes back to your turn. So yes, let's say you're defending earlier in the game, and then boom, you're down at the end of your turn. You're at like 16 life. You got 3 Blood Debt cards. Boom, you go to 13 or somewhere below. You better block with it that turn, because it's going away anyways. So that's sort of, it's really an early game, soak up some damage, and maybe then try to go ahead and really like push for that setup. With maybe Shadow Brute does that kind of thing, and then go from there and try to, beat them out. Maybe you're going to get your Doomsday off before that happens, but it's kind of like it's going to be very delicate to play with this, and you got to know when to maximize. And that's true for all things, especially stuff with that have Battle Worn that you can activate after you've blocked with it. This one you just kind of know when to actually fire it off here. So yeah, I think that for Shane, this could be pretty useful, because you're going to be trying to banish play a lot of Blood Debt cards if you want to knock off that Eclipse card. And so you're going to be not wanting to block from hand a lot. So hopefully this is good against things that go tall rather than go wide, because it's like, cool, I block 6 from your Kodachi for 2. Wow. So Shane can use this to sort of take a turn off to soak up some damage with the Carrion Husk, and then get those things ready to play all 6 of those banished cards. And then boom, get your Eclipse out. For Levia, for the Shadow Brute, I think it could be useful. They're a little bit slower to build compared to Shane, and it's also they don't have as much defense. So maybe this is really helpful for them because you can turn off Blood Debt with Levia, maybe this is a little bit better for a more of mid-range thing. You don't have to use it early, which is you're always going to be getting smacked by Blood Debt with Shane. So I think there's an interplay there. It's going to be interesting to see where that falls. Depends on what we're fighting. If we're fighting go tall decks, great. If we're going to fighting go wide decks still, like Ira, it's not going to necessarily be all that great. So All right, on to our next card. It is Sanctuary Gaming. They have Piercing Shadow Vise. So this is a 2-cost attack for 4/3/2, depending on pitch color. You may play it from your banished zone. So again, Shadow Runeblade attack actions coming from banished zone are key to getting Shane's Eclipse thing off, as you need to be pulling cards out of your banished zone to actually chug up to that 6 in a single turn. If you've dealt arcane damage to an opposing hero this turn, Piercing Vise gains 2 more power. That's actually really quite cool. And then it's got Blood Debt. So blocks for 3, base attack 4 on the red. It can go up to 6 with arcane damage. This seems awesome. Yes, it's a little expensive, but it seems awesome. And I think it's just not awesome at all if you're not going to have a consistent way of dealing arcane damage. And that's where we go back to a couple cards we saw over this past week. Invert Existence, Seas of Agony, and Dimensional Crossroads are all things that can do a little bit of chip damage. Dimensional Crossroads being probably the key one, because you're going to be able to pull things out of your banished zone, giving arcane damage, giving this a bonus. Just got to find a way to give this +2, or sorry, go again. Oh wait, Shane can do that with his hero ability. Look at that. It's all coming together for this go wide, go aggro, go fast deck with Shane as the Shadow Runeblade. So I think that can really, these are the cards that are going to really link things together and power through. I don't think this is going to be used to be able to cast your Eclipse. It's too expensive. Unless you literally have so many cards in your banished zone that you can be playing with just using resources in your hand, then sure, maybe that'll be the case. But otherwise, this just not having go again inherently also makes it a little bit slower and harder to maybe do off the bat, but we'll sort of see how that goes here. All right, on to our next one. This is from Looty World. We have Rip Through Reality. So this is a 2-cost attack. Again, same sort of stats. Got 2-cost attack, 4, 3, 2 for the different colors we assume. It can be played from the banished zone. Blocks for 3. Great. Again, these are your bread and butter. It's got Blood Debt. So not necessarily going to be the ones that you're going to play to try to get Eclipse, but we'll sort of see. If you've dealt arcane damage to an opposing hero this turn, it gains go again. So this is a nice way to gain that momentum. You can really go like 5 wide now. So you like go with a non-attack action. Maybe you have your Eclipse out, you got your Urser out, so then boom, attack there, attack with your Urser, Rip Through Reality, Chain, some other thing like maybe Rip Through Piercing Shadow Vise, get go again, and then just go like, so you can go really wide with this. And these are the keys I think we needed to see for Shane to really punch through and get in there. So again, not sure if this is going to be part of Eclipse. Maybe it'll be sort of part of the Eclipse afterwards. You're using Chain a lot. These are going to be in your banished zone to limit life. You want to do that. So I think that's sort of where that comes in. All right, now we have our last card here. We're not going to mention it yet. This is from House of Mysteria, but I want to talk about light things for a second. So light heroes. So we know, I think, I'm trying to nail down what our heroes are going to be. I think it's almost guaranteed that we're going to get a light hero. We've seen some art that looks very much like a light warrior. And that kind of balances, and that makes pure sense in the regards to, all right, well, we had a Runeblade from the Demonastery. It's already from the Demonastery, but it's a Shadow one. Then we have the Shadow Brew, which is from a different area. So what I think that tells us is the opposite of the Demonastery in the sense of like light and dark is Solana. Solana is this place of light. What did we get from Solana? We got a warrior. So I think we're going to have a light-based warrior. No idea what the soul's going to be. We just know that you get a bonus for having things banished in your or underneath your hero as your soul. Don't really know anything else about it, so I can't really speculate too much on that other than it's going to be some sort of gain life or weird bonus effect that I don't know if it's you want to add things to your soul or if you want to remove things from your soul for a bonus. But obviously there's going to be cards that allow you to push them in, but there's also there's got to be a bonus for having them there, whether that's removing them and getting a bonus or having them be at a critical mass and get a bonus. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's removing them, and then that's why your opponent who's playing Shadow wants to remove them because you can't use them or you can't get this bonus of, all right, I got 6, boom, I'm going to get plus something to my attack or something like that. So then what is the other hero? We got those 2 other hero spots. So Light Warrior, I think it's like a guarantee, right? Stamp of approval, send it off, go to the press. The other one, so Brute. So Brute is a Welcome to Wraith one. Warrior is also a Welcome to Wraith one. So let's say we took our 2 classes from Welcome to Wraith, we got that. Assuming that there's going to be that sort of symmetry. So we should assume that there's one from Arcane Rising on the light side. That leaves us a couple different options. So we have Mech, we have Wizard, we have Ranger. Those are the other ones. We've seen nothing really in the art to indicate Mech. It's just not likely going to be there. So I think we just push that aside. Ranger, same sort of thing. I feel like that you could get away with without seeing specific art, but like Mech, you're going to see weird machines and like devices, and we only seen like one item, and it just doesn't seem reasonable to think that that is the focal point of it. So push Mech aside. Ranger's a maybe, and that leaves Wizard. Well, Wizard, I don't know, like, there's not a lot of Arcane Barrier. We saw the Spellvoid in a couple things, but it doesn't really seem super likely that that's going to be what we're gonna get. However, what if we sort of think about the Ranger? Well, Ranger, yeah, okay, so Rangers are likely spot depending upon what we're gonna see. We just haven't seen a lot of art that's gonna dictate that. Alright, well, if we put that aside, then and also the art sort of, I don't know, kinda is key to what we've been seeing, really. If we put it aside, maybe it is Wizard, but maybe it's because it's a light Wizard, it's not exactly what's going to be for the same sort of thing. So it's going to be more of a cleric type one. So instead of being this, I'm going to deal arcane damage, maybe it's going to be more like a battle priest. So you're going to be attacking for actual damage, as well as actually using some arcane damage as the sort of side effect. So it's not really sure about what we're going to do, but that's sort of my best guess. So those are the classes. Well, what about the summonable allies? So I think that we've already seen both of them. One in the art spoiler, one in an actual card. So the, what is it, Cataclysmic or Celestial Cataclysm, that is one of them. That has got to be one of these two summonable things if we have them, which I assume they will because we all are all about symmetry here in this game, it seems like that. So that's that big old dude just like coming down and smashing stuff. The other one is that sort of angelic character that if we get these tokens, this is the other one. It's this big angel, thing that's going to come down to be the savior of Wraith. So those are those two things. So that's it for the light speculation. Just get on to the rest of the spoilers. So with all that said, we're going to push into the last preview card. So again, this is from House of Mysteria. So this is Impenetrable Belief. So we have a 2-cost common 5-power attack, probably going to be 5/4/3, 2 defense as a generic light attack. So not all that great, but it does get a bonus. So if 3 or more cards have been put into an opposing hero's banish zone this turn, Impenetrable Belief gains +2 while defending. So it really, what I can do is if your shadow opponent's going off and doing his thing, you can get a bonus on your defense. And that's actually really quite key to this card. So it turns into, from a generic okay card, to something that's actually going to be pretty good. So I'm hoping that's it for the spoilers today. I'm hoping that we're going to see some light heroes coming out this week. Generics are going to be next week, and then we'll have the full spoiler before the preview season starts. So that is all for the spoilers today. Let me know what you think about any of these cards. Did I get anything right? Did I get anything wrong? Am I totally off with my interpretations? All that kind of stuff. I really like to know. I think this is a lot of fun speculating on these kind of things, and I look forward to seeing other people's reactions. So cheers. That was our Pints and Previews episode. So I am Tap for Brew Tapcast saying thank you and goodbye.